Welcome to part 2 of my underground simulator. Some people have asked me about the power of the moving seat and floor. So today I'm going to show you how the seat works. It's a normal underground seat, but it has what's known as a butt kicker on it. Now this device works with the sound, so it works on the base of the sound, which then vibrates through the seat. The seat comes down and you actually sit on that when you're driving a train, and the rails, which is the vibration, I've set the butt twister so that when you're sitting on the seat you get the vibration of the rails, so naturally if you go across the points it clonks. Now the following example is also on the floor itself, which also gives you the floor movement using 4 big bass speakers, and it actually vibrates the floor. So you get 2 different vibrations. The bass is on the floor, and up on the seat is the vibrations for the rails. Now the other question I was asked about the simulator is the controlling of it, which is controlled here by the butt kicker controller. You can change the bass and the vibrations using these, and this end sets for the different programs you're using. Like BVE doesn't need so much sensitivity because it's the sound on that particular program is much clearer, so therefore you can turn it down. But when I use Train Simulator, and that's another thing, I have to turn this up a little bit to get the vibrations from the different trains because they're made by different programmers. The interesting thing is I can run Train Simulator on this and it will work with the multi-monitors, because I've changed the program to work so that I can get a side view out of this window, and of course in the front view, and the miles per hour screen can be placed onto this monitor up here. As you know, I've got I have to count myself, 5 monitors. I've got the information monitor, I've got the program monitor which gives speeds and direction, and then at the top I've got the monitor which shows you down the platform on each side of the program. And on Train Simulator you can actually view down the platform when you come into a station. The main screen is on here, which naturally gives you the program, and normally I have a red light in here as well. The other question was the transponder, which is the radio, works exactly the same as Microsoft Train Simulator ATC does, which is an added program. What actually happens is you say your commands into the mic and it will come back with several phases. Now the interesting part, I found that this is not a gimmick. It will come back with a certain phase and match it over here onto this monitor, which will give the information. For instance, if she comes back and says there's delays on the train or there's an accident at Oxford Circus, it also will point that onto this screen to show you the command of what's sent. I'll try and demonstrate that but a little bit better as we go on. There are different program menus, fan and ventilation, because naturally it's a small confinement, so we got heaters, we got fans. Down here for the automatic control, which I didn't quite go into last time, some of the trains work on automatic control, such as the central line. And when you're driving the central line, and actually you don't need this device, which is your controller, it's basically press both buttons in at once, wait a few seconds, and it will go. And this is on the central line, which I will explain to you when we come to do the central line. Now everything in here is not actually set out as the underground trains are, because I wanted to be able to drive several trains. The ATC for automatic, I wanted to drive the old 1930s trains, C-class trains, right up. Plus I wanted to use Train Simulator, which means I'd like, one of my favourites is really the older trains, the thumpers, and naturally this it is off of a thumper device, so therefore I can drive the old thumper trains in Train Simulator and have all the extras like looking out the side window as it's going along, also have the information come up. All the other screens I've separated using the program of 2 computers, so I can monitor everything on these monitors. Now, what I'm going to do is today I'm going to put I'm trying to think what I'm trying to do today. I need to put BVE on, I think, and show you BVE. So I'm going to go onto the Victoria line. So I'm going to come back in a few seconds. I'm going to rig the camera up the best I can, and then I'm going to go do a small trip on the Victoria line to show you exactly how I've changed the sound on BVE, and how these monitors link up to the program, giving you even outside view at the stations, which is quite, you know, quite good. Not everything is done exactly as a real tube train, but let's admit it, this is great for fun. I enjoy it. It does things, and it does give you the sense of being on a real tube train. So I'll back in a sec and we'll set it up in the cab. Now, one of the main things what I do need first is to switch the power on, which is inside the cab itself. Now I've switched that on. That now turns on everything in the cab. I've come down, I've got my normal radio, which is set, so I don't need to do anything to that, but the transponder settings I may have to change to what line I'm on, and I will be told that by the ATC themselves when they come back, which is the control center. Going down, I need to turn on the key, which will switch on the power to everything else, and then one by one we will switch 1, we will switch 2, and then we come across here and we need to switch that one on, and that switches the main programs on to start the thing itself. The kit bucker is switched on down the bottom there, and I'll just go through the basic things. Now the map screen is controlled by the buttons along the bottom here, and if you look carefully you'll see Metropolitan, Victoria, Jubilee, District, Central and Circle. If we select the Victorian screen for our program Victorian screen and then pressing it will bring up the Victorian screen, which is actually that one, and sets the route for us. So if I turn the light down a bit, we can see the route as that we're going to take on the Victorian line. Now, looking at the panel, most people will know this is properly one of the things which are found in a cab, and that is the programming thing for door control, cob weather, traction, saloon involvement, etc. This is set on Metropolitan line at the moment, but I will change that as necessary. Right, here we are, ready to set up the screens. First of all, the heater's on, air vents, and we got we got boost air vents, which are, that one's the boost air vent. We've also got, we need to put up on our screen miles per hour. We've got K mile per hour. Transactions to forward, need to take this back. That's breaking. We got 32 seconds to go before we actually close the doors, but we're radioing our shift. So we need to take our mic, and we're on radio 1. So what we do is we press the mic and we just go, this is car 4 starting the shift on the Victorian line, over. And we just wait. This is car 4 starting the shift on the Victorian line, over.
Control to car 4. We are receiving you loud and clear. Turn transponder to 3. Have a nice shift.
Transponder is on 3 and we're all ready to go, thank you. So now we've radioed in and everything is set, and we're ready to shut the doors, which are on this side. So we'll shut the doors.
This train is about to depart. Please mind the door.
And we're away. Now our speed of the train is here at 46 miles per hour. And as you can see, it echoes through the tunnels, which is an added bonus.
Control to car 4. Control to car 4. Control to car 4.
Yeah, this is car 4, go ahead.
Sorry, car 4, I have had to take the train in front of you at the Agley Road due to motor problems. Just like it to BBC.
Yeah, roger on that. So we've got a problem on the line, so they've taken the train in front off, so we're about to go. what I'd like to show you, if I can get the camera to go up, is the top monitor when I close the doors. In a few seconds you'll see the top monitor display the doors being closed and looking down the platform, which is really interesting. So here we go.
This train is about to depart. Please mind the door.
As you can see, the doors close, and as soon as I drive away, here we go, we're moving, and that moves as well. And that's taking the camera off of the platform itself, which automatically resets. As soon as the train triggers out the station, it goes on to the next bit. Naturally, I couldn't actually show you the whole controls because the cab is small. And because the cab is small, I can't show you everything, which is the control units. So some of the screens you cannot see, which is a shame in some aspects. And that show's different for every station. I'll show you the next station as well, so you can see actually how it all works. It took me ages to be able to set this up naturally. Of course, we're miles per hour on here. Now on the screen below, it actually said that Warren Street's closed. So we won't be calling it Warren Street, but we naturally have to slow down to reset the signals on it. So this station's pretty packed because of the time of day. So what we'll do is you'll see that it's asked to move down the carriages, etc. So this is Finsbury Park. So, so what's happening now is most of the people on the whole platform's nearly completely all gone onto the platform, from the platform into the train. So the platform's almost empty. Right, we're going to close the doors now, so you'll see a different display come up on the top as per normal.
This train is about to depart. Please mind the door.
And we move away as normal. Got a full train there. I'll bring the camera back down so you can see a bit more of the line itself now. As you can see on there, it does actually say Warren Street closed. The sounds in this simulator are unbelievable. You can't describe until you're in it. You've got the motion of the floor, the motion of the seat. You really do feel like you're in an underground train. and it can be quite creepy. We got a platform on this side now, so I should open the doors on the left hand side, not on the right. If I do it on the right, that's big penalties at the end of it. So again, we've got quite a packed platform here, and we haven't got a great deal of room on the train, so this is going to be absolutely amazing if we get everybody on. This is Highbury and Islington. Ventilation fans just come in because it's getting quite warm in the cab, just like the real undergrounds. So we've now got a nice ventilation going on inside the cab itself, which comes on automatically, which will go off in a minute. Yeah, it's quite a marvellous invention, this is, especially when you're in a underground, you actually feel like it's an underground train. And I've got a display here for information what comes up, which is really interesting. So we got the station platform again on the left hand side, so we need to open the left hand doors. Yeah, it's quite busy. So this is St Pancras, King's Cross.
This is a security announcement. Passengers are requested to keep their possessions with them at all times.
we've got someone jammed in the doors then. Yeah. Okay, we're clear. We've got a red signal, but we'll trip it so it goes to orange, which tells us that it's a bit of a slow line. We've got quite a weight on the train. That's another thing. I've adjusted it to the amount of people on the platform so that the weight of the train it affects the acceleration time of the train, which is amazing, because you think, oh, I've got quite a few people at the station, so it's going to affect how the simulator works and how much more braking power are required to stop the train. Sometimes it's damn awkward because you can overrun the stations. On the right hand side now, so there's plenty to do. That's one good thing. A bit short there, but not to worry. Should have moved up a bit. You tripped the light really. I'm not quite on the 9, but not to worry. Right, let's close the doors. Also changes the colour, the shade of the doors change. That drops. You can't move the train till that drops. And these will change because we trip them. Ventilation fans just triggered in. So you can't suffocate in this little cab. That's one good thing. So this is where the station, it told me on here earlier that this Warren Street is actually closed. So I will have to approach Warren Street slowly, drop my speed right down to 5, crawl, stop to trigger the light, and then it will change the signal light to red. But we don't want people getting off at Warren Street, so we don't open doors. I've built in that sometimes Warren Street's not closed. It will be a normal station to stop in, so I've made it do that on the program. So you might play it and you might stop here, and it might be another train station that's closed down. But today it's Warren Street, and unfortunately, when it happens in real life and you get a station close, it causes delays naturally, because even though if it was open I'd stop there, I would only be there for less than a minute to pick your passengers up. This takes longer to process because we need to enter the station so slow from the beginning in case there's workmen there. So I'm just coming through the station now, and you'll see it's closed to the left, and naturally you can see it's Warren Street, so it's really interesting. So we need to slowly go through. We're actually going through about 9 points. A little bit naughty really. It should be slower, but you can't go too damn slow. It's like crawling. Now actually you'll see that the light is red, so we need to almost near enough, well, basically stop the train, because then it will process the processor and it will go green, and now we're free to go again. So we're free to move on, and we can proceed on. See, the time it's taken me to do all that, that's made us late, and I'm not likely to make the time up because of the amount of passengers I've got on board. And like the last station, closed my doors too soon, caught a passenger in, and I get a penalty delay, and that's what happened at the last station. That's why you got that pipping sound. Well, I'm going to come into the next station and I'm going to stop it there on the video. And I do hope you really enjoyed my little trip, even though it's small in here and you can't really see a lot, which is a shame really that the camera couldn't be back, but I've got a wall behind me, so it's just a basic little tiny cab, and trying to get the view in there with this camera is basically nearly impossible. But I'm going to come into the station, going to open the doors, and basically call it a day with it. And I do hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave your feedback by all means, and maybe we could put Train Simulator on and I can show you all the monitors working. If you'd like that, please let me know. Well, here we come. We're coming not far now, and we're coming into the next station. We're driving a little bit slower. I'm never 100% sure where the bloody stations are sometimes. Now this station's on the right hand side, so we're going to nicely pull up here. But what I can do, because I've determinated it, I can actually I've automatically terminated it, but they're not going to like that, are they? So I'll probably get really bad effects. But yeah, there we are. I hope you enjoyed it.
Customers are reminded that smoking is not permitted anywhere on London Underground.